Breaking news, the CDC Eviction Moratorium has been extended again after officially ending on July 31st, 2021. It has been extended as of August 3rd, 2021 through October 3rd, 2021. We are going to run through exactly who this CDC Eviction Moratorium is for. It's limited this time in scope. We're going to talk about whether this was a legal move or not, and make sure you stick around to the end where we're going to show you exactly how to figure out, tenants and landlords, if you are covered by this CDC Eviction Moratorium. Hey there, Christian Walsh with Wire Associates. We're real estate agents based in Southern California, helping tenants and landlords and buyers and sellers in California and beyond figure out what's going on during these crazy days. And the moratorium from the CDC was officially over, but it's back on. Talk about crazy days and always having to be tapped in to know what's going on. The CDC Eviction Moratorium that expired was a national eviction moratorium. This new eviction moratorium is limited in scope, and we're going to tell you exactly which counties it applies to. The other thing that's important to remember is whichever CDC eviction moratorium is in place, make sure you understand if there's a local eviction moratorium in place. For example, in the state of California where we're based, we have AB 832. That covers the entire state. There are local areas like Los Angeles that have their own eviction moratorium. So make sure you research in your areas, tenants and landlords, to see if there's a local city, county, or statewide eviction moratorium that takes precedent over the CDC eviction moratorium. Is this extension of the CDC eviction moratorium legal? The short answer is it will be challenged in court yet again, like the previous CDC eviction moratorium was. So the way to think of this is actually a new CDC eviction moratorium. The previous one covered the entire nation. The new one specifically only covers counties that have a certain level of community transmission of coronavirus. So as we know, the Centers for Disease Control is not typically a law-making body in the federal government. That's left up to the legislative branch. So the previous CDC eviction moratorium, which had been extended several times, was challenged in several states and ultimately made its way up to the Supreme Court. And it was deemed an overstepping and overreaching of the Centers for Disease Control powers that they have. This challenge to the CDC eviction moratorium meant it was going to be unlikely it would be extended in its existing form at the time, and it was up to Congress to come up with a new law if they wanted. They ran out of time and are on break and not able to work together to come up with some sort of extension. It's guaranteed that this new CDC eviction moratorium will be challenged in court again. Why do we have this new CDC eviction moratorium? What are the reasons that it was put in place? We have a link below so you can read the signed CDC eviction moratorium order to see why CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky signed this on August 3rd, 2021. Here are some of the reasons listed in that extension. One is the increase in coronavirus cases. So it went from 19,000 cases across the nation on July 1st to over 103,000 cases at the end of July 2021. This was a big increase. Over 80% of these infections are of the Delta variant, and these numbers are expected to increase through the month of August. Of course, vaccinations are widely available right now, and about 58% of the population over 12 is fully vaccinated at this point in time. But there's a lot more folks who need to be vaccinated. And per the CDC extension, it states that the populations who are least likely to be vaccinated are also most susceptible to eviction. Eviction itself can lead to homelessness or people living in tighter quarters as they move in together, which could ultimately increase the number of coronavirus cases per the signed extension. In addition to limiting the increase in the number of infections due to coronavirus, this also gives an additional couple months to distribute the rental assistance funds that have been given out across the nation. The CDC eviction moratorium is limited in scope and only applies in counties in the United States where community levels of spread are at substantial or high levels as defined by the CDC on August 3rd, 2021. And in a minute, we'll show you exactly how to find those counties that have substantial and high levels of community transmission. It's important to note that counties can be added after August 3rd. Counties can be removed if 14 days go by and a county is not in substantial or high levels. They will be removed from being covered by the CDC Eviction Moratorium. But it's important to note that they can be added back in if their levels go back up. So right now we're going to dive in and show you exactly how to find out whether your county falls under substantial or high levels. Thanks for sticking around to the end. We are going to show you where you can find out, tenants and landlords, whether the CDC Eviction Moratorium applies to you. So remember, this is places that have substantial or high levels of community transmission, and this will actually show you on the CDC's website. So we have a link below so you can click and go ahead and do research for your county. We're going to run through a few so you can see some examples. So let's go ahead and take a look at some different orange counties. I'm in Orange County, California. We'll show you that. But let's go ahead and look at the state of Vermont. They happen to have an orange county, so let's see how they are doing. So we enter that in, the state and the county, and here it will show us that as of right now, as of the filming of this on August 3rd, that right now it has a moderate level of community transmission. You can see that up here. You can also click around the different counties and see. So what that means is that the CDC Eviction Moratorium, as it exists now, would not apply to Orange County, Vermont, because it doesn't fall into these categories, substantial or high. But let's look at some orange counties where it will apply. So let's go to another famous orange county, and that is in Florida. And let's see how they fare for community levels of transmission. And it chugs away, pulls the data in, and the answer is high. So it's beyond substantial. In Orange County, Florida right now, they are at high levels of community transmission. So what this means in the state of Florida is that the current CDC Eviction Moratorium would apply. And if you look at the map, it pretty much looks like all of the state of Florida, the CDC Eviction Moratorium applies. So let's check out another one. We'll go to my Orange County, if I were to have an Orange County, and that's in Orange County, California. And there's a special case in this one. So let's see what CDC website says. It's crunching the numbers, and it says that unfortunately we are in a high level for community transmission. So that means that technically in our area right now, the CDC Eviction Moratorium would be in effect, the new CDC Eviction Moratorium. But in the state of California and some other areas in the United States, there are local eviction moratoria. So in the state of California, we're currently under AB 832, and that's what actually takes precedence over the CDC Eviction Moratorium. So we do have an eviction moratorium, and that's our local California one. But you can see if we did not have that, we would be underneath the CDC Eviction Moratorium. So make sure you click the link below to check out and see, tenants and landlords, if your county falls under substantial or high levels. You can use this search tool right here. Leave your comments below. We want to know what you think about this newest CDC Eviction Moratorium. And will another 2 months be a long enough time to get the rental assistance funds to those who need it? Make sure you subscribe to our free weekly email newsletter. We have a link below. We cover topics like this and a whole lot more for tenants and landlords and buyers and sellers during these crazy days. We have that link below, or you can text newsletter to 949-691-3566. We'd love to have you subscribe to our channel. This is the resource for the most honest and up-to-date real estate advice out there. This has been Christian Walsh, real estate agent with Wire Associates, and we appreciate you.